Hi, and welcome to another weekly roundup of The Harvest with me, Carmel, where you get your capital market news, views, and clues. In today's roundup, we take a look at TikTok, who has now sued to block the US ban. We want to see why China and the USA are battling it out for Africa. And then the return of the meme stock sequel. And also, our very own The Harvest podcast gets a very nice nudge in the right direction, hitting the wire, which is just the same as saying gets major media distribution. And then in the world of AI, OpenAI has launched ChatGPT 40, their latest model that can look, listen, and talk. More on that and why Apple's ad for their new iPad sparked massive backlash and an apology. All that and more on The Hop.
A group of TikTok content creators are suing the US government over a potential ban. Here are 3 things you need to know. 8 TikTokers have issued another challenge to the new federal law that would ban the platform if its China-based parent company doesn't sell its stakes within a year. This is on top of TikTok's own lawsuit against the US government. The creators are arguing that the law violates users' First Amendment rights to free speech, arguments that are similar to the ones TikTok has been making. The creators are asking the court to issue a declaration saying that the law is unconstitutional. And in case you're wondering who's paying for the lawsuit the content creators have brought forward, it's TikTok.
The battle for influence between US and China heats up in Africa. As the global power rivalry between China and the United States heats up, African nations will have to pick the right partners that will benefit them not only in the short term, but also in the long run, said observers. Over the last 10 years, from 2013 to 2023, China has invested close to $10 billion worth of investments in Tanzania, making it Tanzania's biggest trading partner. Dr. Liu Bocheng, Dean of the University of International Business and Economics Center for International Business Ethics, said it is not too late for the US to try to catch up, especially in improving the livelihood of Africans by providing better employment opportunities and skills training.
From Nigeria to Kenya, the whole continent of Africa is under construction. New dams, highways, ports, bridges, and railroads are springing up. And many are bankrolled by Chinese cash. The increasingly bitter rivalry between Washington and Beijing. For 4 years, the Trump administration put America's global rivalry with China at the center of its foreign policy.
It's clear to me that the United States is concerned about China, that Africa is part of that. When the United States released an Africa strategy a few years ago, it was primarily a China strategy. And if you look at the comments that the then National Security Advisor Bolton made when that strategy was released, it was mostly about China.
China uses bribes, opaque agreements, and the strategic use of debt to hold states in Africa captive to Beijing's wishes and demands.
I think in the case of Africa, the Chinese have made extraordinary efforts to increase their influence. So I think it's perfectly legitimate for the US and European countries to be worried about what China's up to there. I think China's pursuing a very, very long-range strategy. And I don't think the United States for many years really had any coherent response.
But US policymakers face a difficult question: how to counter China at a time when American politicians have little appetite to spend money on foreign aid.
The United States is doing much more than it is given credit for, and it is extremely important to acknowledge. People will overlook that the United States has been involved with the continent for decades, has been involved in education, in healthcare, in human rights.
Wall Street had a here we go again moment this week with the sudden return of meme stock euphoria. A 2-day rally led investors to rush back into a group of stocks that soared during the pandemic, when individuals teamed up across social media to bet against short-selling hedge funds. Yet things look very different than they did in 2021, when the retail crowd could point to rock-bottom interest rates, benign inflation, and surging e-commerce to help justify the stratospheric valuations. Here are some early insights and takeaways.
Remember meme stocks? Shares of GameStop and AMC were among the biggest beneficiaries of a frenzy that was kicked off years ago by a band of retail traders on online platforms. Keith Gill, also known as Roaring Kitty, was the most prominent among them until the frenzy died down when Gill disappeared from online social media in June 2021. In mid-May, the frenzy was briefly revived when Gill posted a cryptic post on X featuring a drawing of a sitting man leaning forward. As a result, GameStop and AMC added $11 billion to their market value, only to lose more than half of that days later when the rally faded. That short-lived pop signals that there's too much froth in stock markets. That's according to a majority of more than 200 respondents to a Bloomberg survey. While stocks are trading near record highs thanks to a resilient American economy and ebbing inflation, some of the respondents say that things may be about to take a turn for the worse.
To lighten the mood and to announce some very good news for our very own podcast, The Harvest, IBN, a multifaceted communications organization engaged in connecting public companies with the investment community, announced The Harvest podcast on Globe Newswire. Distributed to millions of news outlets globally, we're excited that The Harvest gets their distribution and gets known around the world. You can hear us, as you are now, on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. And as always, in the world of AI, new developments are uncovered here on The Harvest. OpenAI has released their new GPT-4o model. Check it out.
This will open up GPT-4o's audio capabilities. Hey, ChatGPT, I'm Mark. How are you?
Oh, Mark. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you?
Hey, so I'm on stage right now. I'm doing a live demo, and frankly, I'm feeling a little bit nervous. Can you help me calm my nerves a little bit?
Oh, you're doing a live demo right now? That's awesome. Just take a deep breath. And remember, you're the expert here.
I like that suggestion. Let me try a couple deep breaths. Can you give me feedback on my breaths? Okay, here I go.
Whoa, slow a bit there. Mark, you're not a vacuum cleaner. Breathe.
Incredibly interesting indeed. Not only can ChatGPT 4o speak with you like a normal human, just about, but it can also look, listen, and talk in terms of helping you devise and analyze math problems and give you useful hints. You can check out so many videos on YouTube, but I am amazed, as you probably will be too. And now we'll take a look at why Apple's new iPad Pro ad has sparked backlash. Take a look at the ad if you haven't yet and form your own opinions, but some are leaning heavily towards saying it's the crushing of the human experience. I won't give you all the details as to what the ad actually looks like, because I'm sure you'll get a minute to see it, but the ad was shared on X, formerly Twitter, by Apple's CEO Tim Cook, alongside his caption, "Meet the new iPad Pro, the thinnest product we've ever created, the most advanced display we've ever produced, with the incredible power of the M4 chip. Just imagine all the things it'll be used to create." Despite the high production quality and unique concept, many social media users took issue with the ad. I felt sad when I saw creative tools such as musical instruments and cameras being destroyed, remarked one X-user. Meanwhile, English actor Hugh Grant referred to the ad as the destruction of the human experience, courtesy of Silicon Valley. Per the Ad Age report, Apple no longer plans to run the commercial on TV. Apple referred Time to the statement it provided to Ad Age, but did not offer further comment. Apple may well have been trying to seize on the trend of hydraulic press videos, which have become popular in recent years. These short-form videos often show everyday objects getting destroyed or crushed and have amassed millions of views on platforms like TikTok and Instagram. I guess it's a little more sensitive when the human experience is involved. Thanks for tuning into The Harvest with me, Carmel Fisher. As always, get us on Spotify, Apple Music, or anywhere you find your podcasts.